Do you want some breakfast?
I'll get me home.
Steve, you've sulked all weekend. Don't you think that's long enough?
I wasn't sulking. I was wondering how long it'll be before you fall apart and drop us both in the muck. You do enough talking for the both of us, Vicky. Your problem is you don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
I simply told Uncle Nick the truth.
Well, simple is good. It was simple, all right.
He's our solicitor. He's on our side.
Well, he may be on your side, Vicky, because he's sure as hell not on mine. He never has been.
He's here to represent both of us, not just me. He's just as much your solicitor as he is mine.
You don't tell solicitors everything. They don't want you to do that.
And what is it they want you to do then? They want you to lie to them, do they?
What they want is something to help them get you off. Telling them you're guilty is the last thing they want to hear.
I can't lie to Uncle Nick. He's practically my family. He was my dad's best friend.
Yeah, well, like I say, he isn't my friend. He hates me guts.
Steve, I had to tell somebody. I was so worried.
Well, shall I tell you what I was worried about, shall I? What else did you tell him? What did you say to the police, eh? What did you tell them when they had you in?
I've already told you nothing.
You were panicking like mad. You fell apart like a little kid.
You can't talk to me like this, Steve.
I am just trying to get through to you. Look, the police have got you figured out. They're using you to get to me. They put the wind up you and you start crying and start telling them things.
It was an awful experience.
Well, you think that was bad, do you? You want to try prison? Look, the police are bluffing. They've got nothing on us. But they will have if you can't learn to keep your mouth shut.
You'll let him walk all over you, same as you always have done.
Just let this drop, Mother. I'm sure Bill doesn't want to be hearing all this.
I bet Bill thinks the same as I do. Have you seen that for sale notice out there?
The flat across the road, yes, I've noticed it.
Reg Olsworth. He's put it in new hands. And he'll do the same with this shop and all.
No, he won't, Mother, because half of this shop is mine.
And so should half of that flat be. Tell her.
What Mother doesn't understand is I do not want to get into a sordid wrangle about money with Reg.
Yeah, I felt a bit the same when Elaine left me, like.
Now, you see, Mother.
The upshot was, though, I ended up with nothing. I was a fool to myself.
There you are.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded, but who gets the benefit? The fellow that she left me for.
You take notice, lady. What Reg Olsworth steals off you, he'll spend on his floozy.
I mean, when you get married, you are supposed to pool your resources, aren't you? And I think when you split up, you should share them out, like.
Yes, but you see, that flat was always Reg's. It was never our home.
No. My home was your home, where Reg Olsworth lived rent-free.
Oh, Mother!
Oh, don't you mother me. You've got to protect yourself. You get across to that agent and find out what Reg is up to.
I think your mother's right.
Thanks, Sammy, lad. We'll have it ready for you about 12:30, all right?
Yeah. You don't even know what one's doing yet.
This won't be much. All the cabbies have a regular service. Anyhow, look, I want you to colour all the stops on this. You want him to go away and tell his mates that he's had a good job, cheap.
Doing a special price for him.
Him and any other contractor.
Won't be much profit to show for it then, will there?
If it pays for your time, it'll serve its purpose. Where's Tony?
Brewing up.
Oh, well, I'd like to see less brewing and more doing, eh?
Hey, blimey, could have been Baldwin talking then.
It's one sugar, isn't it?
That's right. Is he here?
Steve. No, he had some business to do.
I don't suppose he's too keen on meeting me, now that I know what he's actually up to when I defended him. Guilty as charged and bribing a witness. And I keep remembering the way he opened his eyes wide in amazement that anybody could accuse him of receiving stolen goods. Still, you've talked about this business with him, I hope.
We've talked about nothing else.
Good. Because absolutely the first essential is that you both appreciate the gravity of the trouble you're in.
Steve says the police are just trying to frighten me into saying things.
Oh, certainly they are, yes.
Well, he says if we just keep our heads, then the police have nothing to go on and they're just bluffing.
Oh, Steve says that, does he? With all the confidence of a man who's actually already been convicted twice on criminal charges? Well, I don't think they're bluffing. I don't know what it is, but they've got something. Anyway, they'll have to disclose what their evidence is once they've charged you, which they will certainly do, Vicky. Nothing so sure.
Well, Well, Steve says...
Will you start thinking for yourself, Vicky? Good God, you've got a brain, you've had an education. Stop taking your opinions from that petty thief you married. Perhaps I shouldn't have said that. But I urge you to use your head. If the police have evidence, then it's against you. It was your money, and you handed it over. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can truthfully say that you were acting on your husband's instructions. It's not a defence, but it's an excuse, and it might get you leniency, if Steve admits it. But if Steve insists on playing the innocent, well, I fear for you, Vicky. I think you're heading for prison.
Scotch and a straight landlord. Pint for our Billy here, and whatever you're having.
Fine, thanks.
Have you told him?
No, let the fella have a sup first. I mean, he's just come in.
Well, as long as you tell him, love.
What are you supposed to tell me?
Well, you see, it's like this here, Fred. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, as good as that. Well, it's like this here, Fred.
Oh, give over. I tell him myself, it's this horse. Me and Billy, we can't afford it. I mean, £20 for his keep week in and week out.
What about me? I own 3 shares in the damn thing. I'm forking out 60 quid week in and week out.
Hey, we're pensioners. You've got your own business.
Yeah, what comes to that? We've got us our own business and all. But I'm not happy about 20 quid a week going down
Do you know,
drain.
it's typical, isn't it? Typical. The horse loses, they all start moaning. What happened to the thrill of ownership, eh?
Oh, yes.
The thrill of watching your own horse romp home, eh?
Look, you might as well go out there once a week and stuff 2 £10 notes down the grid.
The Queen doesn't start moaning when her horse goes down, you know.
Yeah, but she's got more money than us. And apart from that, you're putting bets on that useless lump of a thing.
Useless lump, that is God's noblest animal.
Well, I say get rid of the useless lump.
Don't you keep saying useless lum's not stood where you are because the horse has nice legs.
Jack, lad, easy. They have a point, the ladies. I say the ladies have a point. I think we should call a meeting of the syndicate tonight.
Hey, old Jim.
Hey, Willie, how are you?
You're out, lad, eh?
I am out. I'm not going back, let me tell you.
What happened then in there? Did he find you?
No, it was all in view of the time you spent in custody, blah, blah, blah. So that's the end of it.
Well, not quite as simple as that, no.
Oh, well, no. They awarded me mum costs of, what was
Yeah,
it?
140 quid, £5 a week for what I did to her. I'll tell you what, I did not feel ashamed when they dragged all that up again, honest to God.
Anyway, look, you're out now and it's all behind you. Do you feel like celebrating?
What's to celebrate, Willie? Honest to God, there's nothing at all. Look, I've been right down the bottom, rock bottom. The only place I can go from there is up, let me tell you.
Yeah, you can stick with that thought.
So, no sign of young Stephen, then?
No. I think he's got his own problems.
Well, when hasn't he? No sign of Liz. Still, I didn't really expect her to show.
Anyway, look, if you don't want a few jars, what do you want to do?
Well, I'll tell you what, Willie, I could murder some decent trough. And I'd kill for a bath.
You've just missed Uncle Nick.
Yeah, I saw his car outside. I hung about a bit till he went.
You can't keep avoiding him, Steve. You're going to have to sit down and talk to him and take his advice.
Yeah, well, I'm already getting that through you, aren't I? And he keeps coming back to one thing. He wants me to go to the police station, make a statement, and admit everything. I suppose that's what he said to you this morning, right?
Something like that.
Well, why'd you keep listening to him then, eh? He thinks he knows the police. He hasn't got a clue for all his little briefcase and his suit. I know him. And they're trying to put the frighteners on you, hoping you'll crack. And with Nick coming on to you, well, they're not far wrong, are they?
He thinks they've got evidence.
But what evidence?
Well, he doesn't know that, but...
Well, of course he doesn't. That's because there isn't any. I'll tell you something about your nice Uncle Nick, shall I? He hates me. I know it, you know it. So he wants me inside, away from you, hoping that'll break us up. And I tell you something, it will.
Please don't say that.
Look, you tell the police about us and Markham Fox, and that's what will happen. I will go to prison. So if that's what you want, do as your Uncle Nick tells you. Do his dirty work for him.
Andy was here earlier to let me know what happened in court. They let him out, seeing as he'd spent 3 weeks in custody. Except the magistrate said he's got to pay me £140 compensation. That's the price of the bashing he gave me. Wonder how they work it out. I don't want his compensation. I don't want anything from him.
And you're bound to keep seeing him, Liz. You're going to be bumping into each other all the time.
Well, Andy says he's calm enough now, but with Jim, you never know. You always get that feeling he might do something. I'm not going to let myself be frightened, though, Deirdre. I'm not going to run away. I wish I could just talk to him. You'd think we'd be able to do that, wouldn't you? So much of our lives together. But I never could talk to him without something going wrong.
So, where do you go from here?
Try and begin again. Work everything. Just try and start it all over again.
I felt like that. I want to do something, not just fade away, getting older and bitter and living in the past.
We won't. If you egg me on, I'll egg you on.
It's a deal.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this is the right place, actually. Does Alec Gilroy live here?
Well, it all depends who's asking, dear.
Vicky? Vicky, what are you doing here? Is something wrong?
I really need to speak to you.
Well, come in. Come in. It's all right, Jessie. This is Mrs. Wilcox, my landlady.
Well, I always knew you liked them young, Alec, but really, it's unseemly. Not at your age.
Ver, this is my granddaughter. Our Sandra's lass.
Oh, come in. Oh, I am sorry. You should have said. Oh, I've got to be careful. It's your granddad, dear. He's a terror for the ladies. Come in. There we are. Oh, what a mess.
Take no notice, she's living in the distant past.
Make yourself at home, dear. You'll excuse me being a bit doubtful about you, dear, won't you? But you can't be too careful. I never knew that he had a granddaughter, see? Well, men hush it up, don't they? In years gone by, I have met several of his nieces. Well, he said they were his nieces.
Over. You can usually believe about a quarter. Even then, she's generally got the names mixed up.
Oh! She's got a look of Julie, hasn't she? Ooh, it's uncanny.
I say, Eckers.
Oh, she has. A distinct look of Julie. I worked with her, dear, when she was only a child. Well, I was myself, barely a toddler. I've seen The Sound of Music 55 times, and I would have seen it more, only Charlie, that's my husband, well, he can't be left on his own anymore, bless him. Oh, hark at me rattling on. You talk to Alec, and I'll make a pot of tea.
Sit down. Now, is something bothering you?
Well,
And can you manage a vanilla slice? Of course you can.
She's a good sort. Like I said, she used to be a chorus girl, now 50 years ago. Pantos and so on. But whatever you do, don't mention dancing, because she'll show you how she can get a leg up above her head. Rather horrible. Next thing you know, she'll be hoofing away on the piano. Come on, Vicky. Something's up.
we're in such trouble, Grandad. Steve and I just don't know what we're going to do.
No, we haven't got a choice. All it comes to, we've just got to sell that oil.
Right. Who to? Nobody wants to buy a dud racehorse.
Well, we bought it.
Ah, we were mugs.
Gentlemen, come to order, please.
Hey, who said you could be chairman of this meeting?
Yeah.
See, as I have the misfortune to own 3/8 of the animal in question, natural justice seemed to indicate that I should take the chair. Now, if you want to take the chair...
Hang on now, fellas. Now, we all know that the women want us to get shut of this horse now. Right? Are we going to give in to these women? Are we going to do everything they tell us?
Well,
Yeah.
pathetic. They're under the thumb, Jack, except you and me.
Well, I'm for keeping the horse and trying to improve it.
Oh.
Well, we could geld it, couldn't we? Get rid of its what's you know. Now, I've heard it makes them run faster. It won't make Reed run faster.
It would if they're trying to catch you.
No, hang on a minute. Hey, how much is this going to cost?
No, we do it ourselves. So there's a pair of bricks.
Oh,
I bet that hurts. Well, if you keep your thumbs out of the road, it doesn't.
Look, it's already been gelded. I'm surprised you haven't noticed it.
Oh, Billy, I don't make habit of crawling underneath horses.
Gentlemen, can we make some progress? Now, we're all agreed it won't be easy to sell this horse as a racehorse.
You reckon we could sell it for little kids to ride?
No. I see only one possibility for this horse, gentlemen. Export. We could sell it to Belgium.
We like slow horse races there, then, do they, in Belgium?
No, they like horse meat.
So all we can do now is wait for the police to come round. It's just dreadful.
Have you told me the lot? Because if you've kept anything back, I'd rather know it now.
Oh, that's everything.
Oh, well, it's enough. By hell, Vicky, this is a right mess.
I know, you always warned me that Steve was trouble, and I suppose now you're going to tell me I should have listened to you and it's my own fault.
Well, not be much point, would there? Anyway, it's not all down to Steve, this mess. He didn't have to fall in with his schemes.
No.
Anyway, let's just concentrate on getting you out of trouble before we sit back and have inquests about how you got into it.
I don't know how we can get out of this.
I'll do whatever I can. I'm on your side, love, now you know that.
Thank you, Grandad.
And if you want my advice, you'll do exactly what your Uncle Nick tells you to do. Because as far as the law's concerned, he's the pro. The rest of us are just amateurs. And in my experience, amateurs get you naught but grief.
That's very true, Alec, as well I know. Amateurs, they've been the ruin of more than one profession. I always say if a thing's worth doing, it's worth doing for money.
Thank you. Bye, love. You've been long enough. I've just about given you up.
Yes, well, I went to see the solicitor, you know, after I'd seen the estate agent. And he's told the estate agent that he wants a quick sale, that he's the sole owner, and that it's got vacant possession.
I knew it. What did the solicitor say?
Well, he thinks that Reg is going to sell the shop, claim half the proceeds, but that flat is entirely his, and I get nothing. It just makes me so angry thinking about it.
And about time, too. For years you've made excuses for that man. You even made excuses for him when he got himself a girlfriend. Said it must be partly your fault. You're too soft now, Maureen.
Yes, well, not anymore. I'm going to stick up for myself. I'll give him vacant possession.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to ring Bill Webster. I'm going to ask him to take you home in a taxi and see you into the house. And then I'm going to move into that flat. And from now on, that's going to be my marital home. And if Reg wants me out, he can damn well pay for it.
Oh, I couldn't fancy eating housemaid myself.
Oh, they're beautiful creatures, aren't they, horses?
Little lambs are beautiful, come to that, but they make cracking dinners. It's chacun à son goût.
I dare say it is. What does that mean?
French, for you be right with me and I'll be right with you.
I'll tell you what, Betty is not going to like this.
It was Betty's blooming fault we bought the horse in the first place. I mean, Betty's hot shot. It put us all in mind of Betty's hot pot.
Well, now we're talking about Belgian hot pot. It's all part of nature's recycling chain. We've been paying out for Thor's to eat, now Thor's is paying us back. Ipso facto.
I once ate octopus in Spain with Alvera. Didn't know till after.
What's that got to do with it?
No, I was just saying.
Oh, come on, gentlemen. Now, please stick to the point. Come on, there's money at stake. Now, this way, we can stop the outflow and at the same time have a little bit of inflow.
You're right. I'm for Belgium.
Hey, hang on. Dinner time you were saying that the horse was God's noblest creature.
We're all good creatures, Billy. We've all got to go one time or another.
See, they use horses for pet food. They use horses for glue. Better still, in my opinion, and I am an expert mind, if they end up giving some honest Belgian citizen a tasty hot dinner.
Yeah, well, my order is waiting on with a tasty hot dinner for me, I hope. Why don't we just take a vote?
I have a motion for a vote. Right. My three say Belgium.
And me.
And me.
Can we have it unanimous, gentlemen?
Aye, go on.
No, I vote against it.
Sorry, you're outvoted, Billy. 7-1.
I'd like to say something here. I'd like to say that we keep this between ourselves. Just say we've decided to sell. Because they can be funny beggars, women, you know. Right.
Hey, good thinking, landlord. I say, Alf, I think we might have a recruit for the rectangle in, Jack, eh?
Likely. Anyway, I'm off, and I'll tell you something and all. I'm not going to say anything about this to Audrey because I want to sleep in a bed tonight.
Hey, what about you, Billy? Say no to Betty, eh?
Well, all right. I'll keep it to myself for a bit. But there'll be eruptions later.
But by then it'll be too late. We'll have a bit of cash, won't we? Anyway, it's their own fault. It was them that said we had to get shut.
Yeah.
This is very good of you, this, Bill.
My pleasure, love.
Thank you, Bill. You're a gentleman.
Will you be all right tonight, then, Mother?
Of course I will. Get yourself some food, won't you?
Am I doing the right thing? I mean, it does seem a bit childish, this, in a
Reg
way.
Holdsworth has forced you to it. He's childish. You've got to play him at his own game.
Well, I'm certainly not going to let him sell this shop from under my feet, not after all the hard work I've put in. And you as well.
That's the spirit, love. Ask yourself, why should Reggie's floozy get the benefit?
Are we ready, then?
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye, I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, make yourself comfortable in the flat.
Yeah.
Look upon it as your own. The home he should have made for you.
All right. Bye. Bye, Bill.
Bye, love.
Do these again, Mrs. Duckworth, will you, love?
OK. Now listen, is our Jack telling me truth? You've got somebody to buy that horse.
That's right, love. Day two, it won't be our problem. Somebody else can get their teeth into it.
Oh, good. Hey, listen, I don't any moaning. That horse has got to go, and that's right.
Right, love.
Tell you what, Jack, all that talking's made me feel hungry. I reckon I could tackle a pie.
Coming up, Fred, lad.
Oh, cheer up, Billy. I bet you had some strange stuff in war. I say, I bet you had some strange stuff in war.
Ah, well, some of that meat, you didn't know whether to harpoon it or pack it into a pair of shafts.
There you are, then.
Hey, Fred, when you were saying about the rectangle...
Pardon?
When you were saying about the rectangle, didn't you, square dealers, could he get me in, like, yeah?
Everything's possible for the right kind of man.
Pies on the house.
I'd say you are the right kind of man.
Ah.
Oh, now then, our Ashley. Oh, I see, you've got the girlfriend with you, you little monkey. Now, be good, and if you can't be good, be careful. Bye, Ecky's easy.
Why doesn't he drop dead?
You work for him, don't you?
Yeah, he's my uncle.
Has he really got someone lined up to buy this horse, or is it all big talk?
No, it's right enough. He's got a pal in trade who's got connections with Belgium.
What's it got to do with Belgium?
Well, they eat horses over there, don't they? That's what he's selling it for. Horse meat.
Ah.